American Express just announced something that you're either going to love or you're going to absolutely hate. What's up guys, it's Sebastian from AskSebby. Today we're going to look at some pretty major changes to the Centurion Lounge, but it's not starting until 2023. We'll look at the information, how reliable it is, some tricks that you can play here, and also some different perspectives. As always, there's going to be a chapters tool down below if you need to skip between the different parts. Big favor from you guys is to give this a thumbs up and to subscribe if you like stuff like this. Also, if you know someone in your life who's scared about this, feel free to forward them the video because it'll probably be pretty helpful. Okay, cool. So what's going on? If you go to the Centurion Lounge website, you see a lot of the things you expect. You see marketing material, different locations, hours and stuff like that, and also the terms and conditions. If you go to the TNC page now, you don't really see anything different, but 2 days ago, there were 2 additional paragraphs that are no longer there. With the power of the Wayback Machine, we can see exactly what was written though. You can bring 2 guests for free with no fee until January 31st, 2023. Effective Feb 1, 2023, Platinum, Business Platinum, and additional Platinum cardholders will be charged $50 per guest. The exception being people who spend $75,000 or more on their Platinum card per calendar year. The second paragraph is just a bunch of different rules constituting what counts as spend. So initially I was expecting them to walk this back due to the backlash, but it doesn't seem like that's the case. The fact that they haven't walked it back tells me that this is an educated decision, that they're pretty set on it. Factor in that the American Express corporate team confirmed with the TPG team that this is something that's happening. There's a bunch of reasons why American Express would do this, and I also have an interesting perspective of Delta. Before we dive into that part though, let's consider some game plans. First one is that this doesn't really affect people who aren't traveling with other people. So if you don't have a player 2, if you don't have a family, if you don't have any other friends that you're traveling with who don't also have the Platinum card, then you're going to be fine. Number 2, this does not start until Feb 1, 2023, so you have a lot of time here. That's 22 months away, so pretty much 2 years. In that time, American Express could make changes and could make exceptions for different groups. If there are any major changes, I'd check down below for a pinned comment from me linking to a new video. So if you're someone who is traveling with their family, then you can add an authorized user for $175. In fact, you can add 2 or 3 authorized users and it's still the same $175. Ideally, I guess you would have the atomic family of 2 parents and 2 kids. The minimum age for authorized users for American Express is going to be 13 years old. Whether you should do this is pretty much a math equation. So how many authorized users do you have? How many trips do you take together? Lounge visits that you make? And also, what's the value of each visit for you? I think for most adults, if you compare this to the other restaurants at the airport, you could easily say $10 to maybe $30 or $40. Especially for the people who are drinking a lot, this can add up pretty quickly at the bars. On the flip side, if you're someone who has 2 little kids, then it's probably closer to $5 or maybe $10. I ended up making a calculator for this and you can punch your numbers in to see how much value you're getting by adding them as authorized users. There's also 2 additional fields if you want to add in some trips that you're doing as parents and without the kids, and also if you want to deduct any cost from the younger ones who might not be receiving as much value. As long as you're getting more than $175 in value, then it's going to be something that makes sense. If you're someone with just a player 2, then this gets pretty interesting because you have a lot more options. The first one is going to be doing the same thing, adding them as an authorized user for $175 and running the numbers. I would argue for one person, it probably does not make sense. You're better off doing number 2 or number 3. Number 2 is going to be having them apply for the Platinum card themselves, getting the respective bonus, getting all the credits, but also paying that annual fee. In most cases, as long as you can use those credits, I feel like that's a better choice. Number 3 is going to be signing up for the Morgan Stanley variation of the Platinum card, and I've talked about this before, but the secret power is that you have a free authorized user. Any authorized users beyond that still cost you money, and this is something specific to the Morgan Stanley Platinum. It's not on the normal Morgan Stanley credit card, and it's also not on the Charles Schwab Platinum card. Funny enough, both Mandy and I have the Morgan Stanley Platinum card, and we added our respective moms as authorized users for those cards. In terms of game plan, if I was someone who already had the Platinum card, I'd probably just sign up for the Morgan Stanley one in the future when it makes sense to do that. In the meantime, I'd probably ask for a retention offer given this news and given that you're affected. If you're someone who does not have the Platinum card yet, then my strategy would be to sign up for the Platinum card, get that very good intro bonus, make the most of the card while you have it to see if you even care about stuff like this, and then once the time comes, sign up for the Morgan Stanley Platinum. To me at least, it's totally reasonable that you would cancel the vanilla no branding Platinum card if you end up signing up for the Morgan Stanley one. That's generally the strategy I recommend for most people anyways. You want to go through all the different platinum colors or the variations in order to get the respective bonuses. Most people end up stopping on either the Morgan Stanley or the Charles Schwab, and I think the Morgan Stanley one is better. At the end of the day, you want to grab the bag while you can, especially given these elevated offers. On that note, if you want to learn more about the Platinum card or any other card from other issuers and you want to support the channel, we have links on our website, AskSebby.com, and also down below in the description box. If you're someone going for the Platinum, I'd also recommend checking Card Match just to see if you have an elevated offer. I'll leave a link down to that below as well in the description box. As always, thank you guys so much for the support. So why would American Express do this? Let's start off with my Delta theory. Delta and American Express recently updated the Delta Reserve and the Reserve Business to include Centurion Lounge access. In effect, this means that the Platinum and the Delta Reserve cards are very similar for lounge access purposes. There is one notable exception. You have to pay $50 per guest with the Delta Reserve. This sounds pretty consistent with the changes to the Platinum card. So is there a world where Delta wanted the Delta Reserve card to have the same exact treatment as the normal Platinum, and people weren't signing up for the Delta Reserve because it didn't sound as good? Delta is one of the most valuable customers or vendors with American Express, and they want to keep them happy. So do we make the Delta Reserve card have 2 guests as well and load up the lounge with more people, or do we pull back the normal Platinum card? On the flip side, Occam's razor, American Express gets a lot of complaints about crowded lounges, and they're targeting their least profitable customers, or technically not even customers, but just visitors to the lounge. American Express lounges are way too full and they need to do something about it. They shouldn't let as many people into the lounge, that way people have better experiences. Let's not let people bring guests into the lounge. Let's not let people bring guests into the lounge? Interestingly with this though, you can see who they value and probably treat as their most valuable customers. So they're not targeting consultants, the ones who probably use the lounge 50 to 100 times a year. If they were, then they probably do the visiting system where each card can only do 10 visits per year. Factor in that this group probably eats more and drinks more than kids. My guess is that they don't want to piss off this group because they either are or have the potential of being their most valuable customers. They're after people who spend a ton of money, and business spend is a huge way and easy way to spend a ton. Do I think American Express could have played this differently? I actually really like that they told us 2 years in advance. I know some people hate it, but it beats last minute changes. To me, I wish they at least had 1 guest because it would make it easier for families and also for people with Player 2. There's definitely a bunch of Henrys and Dinkies who don't want to have 2 Platinum cards. They make a ton, but they're also pretty frugal and they're just trying to make the most of their money. The big question though is whether this is a tool for American Express to cut out their non-core customers, so the ones who they don't really want. If you're someone who's pissed off, is it intentional and are they trying to get rid of you? Let's finish off with a bunch of different perspectives, and I'll share mine towards the end because it does combine a few of these. If you're a consultant or someone who flies a lot, then you're probably happy with this because it means less people in the lounge and especially less kids. My guess is that you're generally pretty happy, probably 1 thumb up. Number 2 is going to be the solo traveler who maybe goes once or 4 times a year. Ironically, I think this is going to be the group who is 2 thumbs up, who's the most happy with this because they're the ones who end up trying to get into the lounge but finding out that it's too full. I feel like the consultant types are used to delays and used to things coming up. For the people who got the card who really wanted to use it and they were excited for it and then find out that the lounge is too full for them, they're the ones who are most likely to be mad, and if anything, they're probably the ones who are complaining to American Express. Why did I get this card? What's the point of it if I can't go to the lounge? Number 3, if you're someone who is traveling with just your Player 2, then the starting point is probably pretty pissed as well, but if you can add the Morgan Stanley Platinum, it makes it pretty easy. It solves the problem. Without a fee, I think your concerns are going to be the same as number 2, so the solo traveler, and you just want to be able to use the lounge. Number 4, if you had both a Player 2, so a significant other, and also a Player 3, either another family member or maybe a kid, then this puts you in a pretty awkward spot. You can add them as an authorized user, but it gets pretty expensive. Maybe this makes me a bad potential parent, but I feel like if my Player 3 was a young adult or a teenager, I'd probably just drop them off at a Priority Pass lounge. Basically bring them in, tell them not to do anything stupid, and message me if they need anything. If it's a young kid, then it puts you in a pretty weird spot. So do you pay the $50 to bring them into the lounge? Even if you were traveling with them a lot, you technically cannot add them as an authorized user to the Platinum card. So it's just this weird dynamic. If you have a young child, then I think you're kind of screwed. Last one, if I had both a Player 3 and a Player 4, I'd probably just drop them into different Priority Pass lounges or the same one, and hopefully the buddy system works. On that note, I probably am not made to be a parent. So what are my thoughts? I'm generally unaffected because I tend to travel during off-peak times. I know a lot of people complain about the zoo environment at some of the lounges, and I generally don't see that because I'm not flying at 9 a.m. on Monday. If I need to go to LA for work, I can generally go on Tuesday afternoons, so I'm not dealing with the big rush. I think parents end up being in a pretty tough spot, but at least you have 2 years before this happens. If anything, I would use the next 2 years to grab the Platinum card, maximize its benefits, and see if it makes sense to add them as an authorized user. In the worst case, you can vote with your dollars. Try American Express right now, get that bonus, and you can decide to leave. You're not signing a lifelong contract. By you getting that card, all you're doing is agreeing to use it for a year and not cancel beforehand. The point of the bonus is to bring you into the store and for you to experience the card and to see if you actually like it. Again, if you want to learn about any cards, whether it's American Express, Chase, Citi, Bank of America, someone else, and you want to support the channel, we have links on our website, AskSebby.com, and also down below in the description box. My question for you guys is, what are your thoughts on this? Do you think it's a good thing? Do you think it's a bad thing? Let me know down below. I'm also secretly hoping that they end up using this as an opportunity to either add more amenities, so spa and facilities like that, or maybe to increase the value of the alcohol. If they started pouring higher end whiskey, I'd be pretty happy with that. American Express, people are going to be pretty mad if you don't start pouring out Blue Label to everyone. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up. If you know anyone else who'd benefit, share this with them. Will probably help them out. But otherwise, hope you guys liked it. See you guys next time.